On this very day, 10 years ago, I was having my first independent trip. I was 19 years old that day. Here is the stamp I got while crossing the Russian border. Here is the stamp I got on the Turkish border, but my destination was not Turkey. I traveled to Bulgaria, and until today that is the westernmost destination I've traveled to in my life. If not counting Serbia, where I've been only 3 days, I had a severe diarrhea and didn't get to experience the country itself. What I got to experience is 10 years of living abroad, and for the majority of this decade it happened that my home was in Asia, which causes a lot of questions from you guys. Literally, one of the most frequent questions that I get on this channel is, Niki, why living in Asia? Why not going to Europe or to United States of America? And I have a lot of good answers to you, and today I'm gonna take you places, talk about advantages and disadvantages of living in Asia in details. But short version is, it's really chill here. People are generally much nicer to each other, and also I have a lot of nature all around me. Perhaps such a place and this environment is something that I really needed after leaving Russia. You might have noticed that I was not uploading as much as before. I was quite frustrated about my videos, experienced a burnout or something like that, and staying here, slowing down, definitely helped a lot. At least a lot of you guys mentioned that I look so much happier in my recent videos. I also met with a therapist where we specifically talked about the experience of living in Russia, about my mindset on videos, stuff like that. Therapy was definitely a valuable tool for me, and that's why I'm excited to introduce today's video sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that makes it easy and convenient to get the support you need, no matter where you are. Like, I'm staying in Vietnam, and that was very convenient to use it. With BetterHelp, you can have therapy sessions via phone call or video chat or even messaging, depending on what works best for you. They have a network of over 30,000 licensed therapists, so you can be sure you will be matched with somebody who actually understands your unique needs and preferences. If you're going through a tough time or simply want to prioritize your mental health, I encourage you giving BetterHelp a try. For that, visit betterhelp.com/NikiProshin or choose Niki Proshin and sign up for a special discount for your first month of therapy. Remember that taking care of your mental well-being is as important as taking care of your physical health. That's something that I learned just recently, and that helped me a lot. Yeah, now let's move to the second thing that I absolutely enjoy here in Asia, and that is very different from these natural chill vibes. I'm talking about chaos, and oh man, life in Asia can be really chaotic, and that's something that I really like here. Let's go have a look. Yeah, Corey, quick question. Why do you live in Asia?
You know, that's a good question. It's fun, it's nice. This city in particular is very beautiful. The money is pretty good that I make from my job. I have very nice friends here that are very nice to be around. And it's cool, new culture, you know, new place to be. Everything is kind of interesting and exciting in a lot of ways, which is always nice. I don't know, is that a good answer?
Yeah, Brayden?
Yo.
Why did you choose living in Asia?
I didn't, I flipped a coin. Did I tell you about that? That's how I was traveling, and whenever I left home after I got the one-way ticket, I had 1 penny, and I got it squashed into an Irish lucky penny, and then every time I was ready to leave a country, I would just fucking flip it and go. And so that's how I ended up going all the way from Ireland down to Greece. I was running out of money, and I decided, okay, I gotta go to a cheaper country, so I picked, alright, Thailand or Vietnam. Flipped the coin, Vietnam won.
Well, this man knows how to make life-changing decisions.
I met my beautiful girlfriend Lynn, and she's amazing. So now I have no desire to go home. I'm gonna stay.
What are you cooking?
So here we have some lightly seasoned herbal potatoes, hash browns. And then here we have some sausages with caramelized onions. We got some buttered toast over here. And then on the table there's a big ass bowl of scrambled eggs. And that's for breakfast for the house, everybody.
Yo, Lynn, a really quick question, like, why did you choose living in Vietnam?
I made a mess.
It's getting much windier today, probably it's gonna be rainy soon. I hope we will catch this no-rain window and I'll be able to show you a little bit around the city center. There's one place I want to take you today and probably have some Vietnamese food for lunch as well. Literally just 1 minute outside and it started to rain. First lightly, but I feel it's gonna be a big rain real soon. So we just arrived at the city center. And I want to bring you to walk around this place. Together we're going to experience a little bit of Vietnamese chaos on the streets. Do not expect to have any zebra crossing, do not expect to have much red lights or green lights for like pedestrians. You literally go as you go. Actually over here there is a zebra crossing, but believe me, it doesn't work properly. Like the drivers will not pay attention to this zebra. I think it's purely for decorative purposes. So I was talking about daily life being more chaotic here in Asia, kind of having less orders, and I get used to see back in Russia, back in European countries, I know that the lack of order can be not a good fit for like everybody. So when it comes to living in Asia, some people enjoy it, some people say like, I'm never gonna be back here, I'm never gonna step again into an Asian country. For me, I really enjoy having kind of lack of order. I think there is a special feeling of not knowing what's gonna happen next, that possibility to see any kind of madness happening around. Madness not in a bad way, in a way that is kind of innocent, funny little madness happening all around me, which makes my days kind of more interesting here, brings a smile on my face. And we almost arrived to the lunch place. Here is KFC behind me. We are not going there. We are actually going to this traditional Vietnamese food. This spot has some delicious pho bo. Oh, you closed? Closed. Okay. What time open?
4.
4. Okay, thank you. It's closed until 4 o'clock, so maybe try KFC. No, definitely not KFC. I'm going to bring you to another place with some local simple foods that you more likely will not have a chance to experience in your country. I've only seen this meal in Vietnam. But first, we gotta cross the road again, and I want to give you a POV experience of doing that. Let's go. Our bike is always there. Oh, that was easy. Not many motorbikes in the road right now. Xin chào, một bò hổ bánh mì. Cảm ơn. So here's what we get with our order of 1 bò hổ bánh mì. This bread is called bánh mì, basically small French baguette, crispy one. This thing is called bò hổ and it has some like soup, very delicious thingy, some meat, carrots, onion, and some kind of grass. I have no idea how to actually call this, but this one is delicious if you combine it all together. And no matter what kind of food you order, you also get some tea, some hot ginger tea over here. You can pour it yourself into these tiny cups, and you can choose between these sauces, some chili, some vinegar, some salt and pepper, and over here there's red chili and some limes. Adding up to some chaotic sides of living here in Asia, changing oil in my scooter, and I'm doing that at local Elon Musk. And you see guys, even such a little thing can bring some good emotions, some smile on my face here in Asia. What a funny thing, Elon Musk store here in Vietnam. Yeah, and since we started to talk about the prices, let's move to the next part of this video, the affordability of living in Asia. I think we gotta move from this loud place somewhere more quiet. Rainy weather today, still very nice and very beautiful here. There's one coconut coffee, iced. Okay. Yeah. Come on. Well guys, it feels nice to be back to this specific coffee shop. Exactly a year ago I've been filming my first videos in the lot. I didn't share much of it, but I recorded a lot of my videos right here. And now let's talk about the money part of living in Asia, specifically about Southeast Asia countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, whatever it is. And if you guys want to know exactly about how much money I spent living here in Vietnam or how much money I spent traveling other countries in Asia, I have a playlist about that. For now, I want to share my basic mindset of being right here. So basically, every single dollar that I spend here, no matter if I'm getting something little, let's say a coffee I had today, or I have something big like paying for my monthly accommodation or buying a scooter or going for general shopping or whatever it is, every single dollar that I spend here gives me more compared to what I could possibly get in America or in Europe. And for somebody like me who makes money online, it makes a great amount of sense to actually live somewhere more affordable, so you can stretch your budget in any way you like. Like right now I'm living here in Vietnam. Every single month I spend less than I earn, so I can save up some money and then spend it visiting other more expensive destinations. Another thing about money here compared to living in Europe or in America, something that I did not understand before, but I experienced it myself. No matter how much money you have here, you can have an enjoyable, interesting life here. My cheapest month ever, it was in 2020 in Thailand. I spent $42 in 1 month, and that month was amazing. It was super interesting. On the other hand, the most expensive month I had in my life, it was in South Korea. I spent way too much money, like much more than I'm comfortable spending. And guys, it started to rain again, so I have to take my camera and kind of hide it from open rain. Yeah, we are back here. So the point that I wanted to make here is no matter what amount of money you have in Asia, you might feel really comfortable. I have a couple of friends who have $200-300 budget for a month. I have friends who spend more than $2,000 in a month. For myself, my monthly budget will be anything between $800 and $1,200, and we all enjoy staying here. You know, overall it feels so good that the money you make kind of lasts longer to you and bring more value to you. It's something that I truly enjoy here. Another thing that I really enjoy here is the overall feeling of safety. I think very few people actually know how safe it is in Asia. I often receive comments from people who used to watch me when I was staying in Russia and making videos about like politics, Russia, Ukraine and stuff. And a lot of people were commenting something like, Niki, you have to be very careful in Asian countries. If you go China, be careful. If you go Vietnam, be careful. Thailand, be careful. Other countries, be careful. But the thing is, I genuinely feel and think that living here in Asian side of the world is way safer compared to any given country in Europe or in America. Like really guys, I want to live in a country where I can get a couple of drinks, get tipsy, go somewhere for a walk in the middle of the night and be sure that nothing is ever gonna happen to me. Most of Asian countries I've been to is exactly like that. I can have much less worries about my personal safety compared to the way I felt while staying in Russia, in Georgia, while visiting Serbia and Bulgaria and quite a few of other countries around the world. I also want to live in a country where I can go, let's say, to a coffee shop, put all of my belongings at the chair, at the table, leave my laptop and then go to a restroom, let's say for 30 minutes without any worries about like my personal belongings. That's something that I might have here in Vietnam, something that I might have in South Korea, especially there. And definitely something that I'm not having in Russia, didn't feel like that in Georgia, and I'm pretty sure nowhere in America or nowhere in Europe I might have a feeling like that. I think you guys get the general points that I wanted to make here. The rain is getting stronger and I'm talking too much to my camera here. Hope I'm not disturbing anybody. Bless you. I will chill a little more at this coffee shop and then return home. So, see you back home. Welcome back home guys. I'm recording the next day sitting on my balcony around this wonderful nature. You know, just talking about living in Asia and stuff, I realized that a lot of people ask me a question like, Niki, do you miss home? Do you miss Russia? Do you miss like something specific? And I always reply that I do not miss home because any place I'm staying at is actually my home. Literally, I'm staying in Vietnam right now and I feel home here. When I'll be traveling to another country, literally a few days later, I will be feeling home there. The definition of home is just a place that I'm staying and I'm enjoying at the current moment, which might be very different from what most people think of home. And I want to talk about one more big advantage and one biggest disadvantage of living around Asia. The other advantage that I have myself staying here in Asia is easy access to other favorite place of mine. Let's say from here in Vietnam, I can spend anything between $30 to $100 to go to the countries like South Korea, Japan, China, another direction to Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, so many countries, so many places that I truly like are really easily accessible from here. And if I stay somewhere in Russia or in Europe or in America, it will cost me like so much money to get here. Last time I had a trip to South Korea and one ticket cost me under $100. I also traveled to Bangkok and a ticket from Vietnam cost me less than $50. That's really nice price for that. Now talking about the biggest disadvantage of living in majority of Asian countries, you will never become a citizen of a country. Let's say if you live 10 years in China or 20 years in Vietnam or 30 years in Thailand, you will never be able to hold a local passport. You will never become a local, like a citizen of a country. This is such a big difference of living here in Asia compared to relocating to Europe or to America. There, I might possibly get a passport to become a citizen within some amount of time. It can be 3 years, maybe some countries 5, 10 years, but eventually I will be able to become a citizen, but not here in Asia. It doesn't bother me a lot, but it definitely can be a big thing for somebody else. Now let's have a little Q&A. I prepared a few questions from you guys, and the first one comes from Hungon Nguyen 293. He asks, might I know what kind of visa do you have to stay in Vietnam? And personally for me, I'm staying here on tourist visa. As a Russian passport holder, I have two options. Either I apply for a touristic visa online and I get 90 days of staying here, or I just come here with no visa at all, because Russian citizens, along with so many other countries around the world, have visa exemption for Vietnam, which means I can come here without any visa for 45 days. Currently, I'm staying in Vietnam like that. I come here for like 30 to 40 days, then I leave the country and travel somewhere abroad for a week or 2 or 3, and I come back to Vietnam for another month or month and a half. The next question comes from XDGS567Z. He asks, what are the various reasons why you choose Vietnam over the other Asian countries to live in? I choose to stay in Vietnam this year, not because Vietnam is like significantly better than other countries in Asia, but specifically because of this city. Dalat is amazing, and once I traveled here last year, I was really fascinated by how beautiful it is, and especially by the climate of this place. It's not hot here, it can be even chilly here in the mornings and evenings. I really enjoyed this city and I decided to spend here much more time. I also met a lot of wonderful people here. You saw some of my housemates and some of my friends in previous uploads. If you haven't, go check that out. So yeah, it's more about me staying in Vietnam because of Dalat city. It's amazing here. The next question comes from Einstein420. I'm curious what you guys do for work here. So my work is making videos. You can see that I upload videos on YouTube, also some videos on Instagram and TikTok. It brings some amount of money. I also take sponsorships onto my videos, like this BetterHelp sponsorship for this specific video. I also have an amazing community on Patreon and YouTube memberships. It's wonderful people who support my work, my videos, which I'm really grateful to have. As for my friends, a lot of them, they teach English in Asia. Like I've met so many English teachers, like in Vietnam, in Thailand, in China, in South Korea. It's a very popular thing to do for native speakers, and sometimes non-native speakers do that as well. Other friends of mine, they either do small businesses or they work remotely. The next question comes from Super Little Tyke. Explain some of the differences between Asia, Vietnam and Georgia. How do you get by with the language? In Georgia, you probably don't have the language issues. There is definitely some countries where I would not have any language issues, where people can speak Russian or English fluently. Here in Vietnam, the situation is actually very easy for me. Like I don't have much of language barrier here with my friends, with local friends, because they speak real good English. But when I go to absolutely like daily life places, let's say to a hospital, to a supermarket, to any kind of place where I need to talk to somebody, I just use my online translator, and that is a very easy thing to do. Even with me not being able to speak Vietnamese, and with other people not being able to speak English, we can use online translators. That's fine. That's not a big deal. Now guys, let's pick two people who will receive postcards from here. For that, I have a simple service, simple website that basically lets me to make a keyword for the comments under the previous video. And we have 33 comments with a word postcard in it. Let's pick a winner. And the first one is Karen Zorn773. Really enjoy your grocery shopping videos. Love seeing the people and different foods. Also so much cheaper cost of living. I see why you like living there. Can't wait to see your next adventure and would love a postcard. Nice, we have one. And the second person is gonna be Kitty S23456. Postcard. And then she educates us on that weird vegetable that I ate in previous video. You guys gotta send me an email with your mailing address so I can send you a postcard. For the rest of you guys, if you want to receive a postcard from me, just comment anything and include the word postcard. Next week I'm gonna do the same. And if you want to receive regular postcards from me, consider becoming a member of our postcard club on Patreon or YouTube memberships. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much. Спасибо and пока.